Hello, namaste. This is Natalie.
And Amanda.
And we're coming to you from the Vinyasa satellite location, self-isolation location, called our living room and our humble abode. So what we're going to do today is we're going to show you some restorative yoga postures. I've been meaning to get a restorative yoga practice out for you guys to do at home. It's a wonderful practice to do at home. You might think you don't have a lot of props. This is a prop-based practice, but we've brought in a whole bunch of things that we feel could inspire you, and feel free to pause the video at any time if you feel you need to go gather things. So if you have anything, we're going to need blankets. If you don't have blankets, you can use thick scarves, you can use towels, you can take a blanket off your bed, things like that. If you don't have blocks at home, you can use books. So I've gathered a bunch of books that we can use to help elevate us where we would use props normally. So whatever you have, take all your old university textbooks, they come in handy. And pillows galore. If you don't have a bolster, not everyone has a bolster at home. If you do have a bolster, grab it. If you don't, find any pillows, whether they're couch cushions, anything that you have lying around. If it comes to it, just take the pillows right off your bed, because they can work just as well. So feel free to go gather what you need.
And a kitchen chair.
Oh yes, a chair can be handy as well. Any chair that you have, preferably kitchen chair with 4 legs. If you don't have a mat as well, you don't need one for this practice. We're doing it on a carpet, so it's nice and soft. You can use a towel, a blanket, or anything that you want, or nothing. Other than that, you're also welcome to, if you don't have an eye pillow to take the light out, if you find your room is very bright, you can also take a scarf and wrap it over your eyes if you just want to shut out some of the light if it's daytime and you find it's very bright. Excellent. All right, so for those who are unfamiliar with restorative yoga, it's a very gentle practice, but there's such amazing benefits to it. Most of our postures here are supported, which is why we're using all the props, because we want to find ease and comfort in every posture. This is active relaxation, so you don't have to exert energy in order to get energy in return. So we will, let's begin with nice breathing techniques and gentle warming up of the body in preparation for our practice. So find anything that works for you for a comfortable seated position. If sitting cross-legged is not a possibility, you don't have to. You can sit with your legs out, you can sit kneeling, you can sit on a chair if you want. So we'll take a moment getting ourselves comfortable. I'll sit on something as well. And then just take a moment to relax the shoulders down, sit nice and tall. If you want to soften the gaze or close the eyes completely, let the hands just rest. So take a moment here to turn your attention inwards. I want you to begin to focus on your breath. Just noticing it, observing it, feeling the inhale and feeling the exhale. So let's begin to deepen that breath now. As you take an inhale, I want you to draw the breath all the way in and down into the belly, and then inflating upwards. When you exhale, release all of the air, and I want you to press that last bit of air out using the belly. Let every breath expand a little bit deeper and a little bit further, expanding beyond with each breath. Every exhale, releasing a little bit more of what does not serve you. Take a few more rounds of this deep breath. The breath is very important throughout your restorative practice. Keep focusing on the breath to keep the attention inwards. Let's just take one more breath here. Fully exhale. And with your next breath, let's sweep the arms up and overhead. Deep breath in. Expanding through the waist. Exhale, bring the arms back down. One more time, deep breath in. And exhale. If you'd like like to set an intention for your practice here today. Anything that you want to welcome into your life at this point, anything that you would like to dedicate your practice to, or maybe just some words of affirmation that you can repeat to yourself throughout your practice. Gently begin to softly open the gaze. And then we'll come to our first supported posture. So I'll introduce you to 3 postures today. And just to keep it a little bit shorter, and then hopefully in the preceding days or weeks to come, I'll introduce you to some more postures as well. So we're going to start with my favorite, Supta Baddha Konasana, which is our reclining cobbler or butterfly posture. So we're going to show you, Amanda's going to show you some lovely modifications you can do with what you might find at home. So if you have a chair, what she's doing is flipping it upside down so that the back support is going to be your back support for this inclined posture. So she's also grabbing some couch cushions to make it nice and soft and comfortable. Remember, ease and comfort. I want the props to meet you and support you rather than you falling down to try to meet the props and finding discomfort. Yeah, so
I'm also quite short, so you may need extra. You may need a layer of 3. I only need a layer of 2.
So keep that in mind. Otherwise, other ways you can do it. If you do have a bolster, the classic way that I show people in my classes is to make a nice incline with either another bolster. So if you're lucky enough to have 2 bolsters, you can place another bolster underneath. If not, blocks are great. You can use various heights with the blocks, and then creating a nice little supported incline for your back, your head and your neck. Make sure the head and the neck has support and comfort. Now we're also going to want some support underneath our legs and our knees. So for many people, opening up the legs might cause achiness in the hips, so make sure that you have what you need for support. So we're going to use some books. You can also use a towel or a blanket to wedge underneath your ankles and your knees. You can take a rolled towel or a rolled blanket. A towel's not going to get you too long of a roll. So you can play around with what you have at home, but if you can even get it just over the feet and underneath the ankles, that'll give you some support. And if that's not enough, that's when you can place extra propping underneath the knees like books or blocks. So finding something that works for you. And it's going to be experimental. If you need to take time to get into the posture, take the time. You can pause this video at any time and then restart it. We're only going to hold our postures for 4 minutes. If you want to hold it longer, then pause the video and set your own timer. You can go up to 10 minutes if you'd like. So now we're going to lengthen through the spine, take a deep breath in, and as we exhale, we're going to allow ourselves to lower back into the propping support and let the legs relax. If you don't have enough support for the knees or the hips, then adjust the books or blocks or even rolled blankets or towels that you have underneath your knees so that you have the support that you need. So allowing the body to relax. If the head's not supported, adding any extra bit of support underneath the head and the neck to allow yourself to relax. So we want to find that moment, that comfort, that ease. Taking a nice deep breath into the heart. And when you exhale, just let the body fall into that comfort. If it's not comfortable, take the time to find that comfort. We want to achieve with this restorative practice is an opportunity to calm the body, the mind, and our nervous system. We're nourishing all of these systems. So you can either continue to take deep breaths, or you can bring that breath back to your natural rhythm.
With every inhale, feel the breath lifting into the upper back, lifting into the heart for this heart opening posture. As the breath moves in, the shoulders move back and down, melting off the support of your props, whatever you may have beneath you. This is a wonderful heart opening posture. It helps to open up across the chest. So for everyone who spends most of their day at a desk, at a computer job, maybe driving a lot, this is a great posture to help improve your overall posture. You bring your attention now down into the belly. I want you to feel how open it is. There's no restriction on your diaphragm, so if you wish to facilitate a nice deep breath, notice that there's no limitations here. You're free to facilitate that deep breathing. Softening the belly. When you bring your attention now down into your hips, bring that attention to the hip joints and also the inner groins and the inner thighs. As the legs butterfly out to the sides, feel that gentle lengthening in the inner groins. If you're feeling discomfort at this point after holding it, please adjust your props so that they're giving you the support you need. If you feel the props are restricting you, feel free to move the props away and adjust at any time. Your postures will evolve, so allow them to. The longer you hold the posture, the deeper the changes. If you need to keep the attention inwards and you find the room too bright, this is where you can add a blanket, a scarf, or a tea towel to your eyes in order to keep that light out so that we can keep our attention in. Otherwise, keep your attention on the breath. Let's begin to slowly bring that attention back into our bodies. And then we'll slowly and gently begin to make our way out of our posture. So as you start to deepen the breath, you can keep the eyes closed. You can start to draw the arms a little closer to the body. If the legs are feeling achy, feel free to bring the legs together immediately and start to relieve yourself from there. If it's comfortable, you can stay there. You can then start to tighten up the core. As you inhale, we'll draw the chin towards the chest and we'll start to press our hands down to help lift the upper body up. If this is too difficult, you can also roll off to the side. So just freeing yourself from the props you have, so removing any restrictions that are on your legs. and anything that might be on top of you or in the way. If you need to now straighten out the legs, I invite you to straighten the legs out one at a time here for a moment, just stretching them, letting anything come back if they happen to go numb at all. So if you need to shake them out, shake them out. If you want to wiggle the toes, you can wiggle your toes, flexing and pointing. Excellent. All right, so let's come to make our way to our next supported posture. We're going to continue now with our twisted child's pose. So this is going to incorporate both a forward fold and a twisting sensation. So make sure you have a few props nearby so that when you try to get into it, if it's not where you need it to be, you can add a few more things in without having to get up and run around to find more things. Feel free to pause the video at any time if you feel you're lacking in some props. So what we want to do is create some sort of lift with either, if you have a bolster, you can use your bolster here. If we don't, we can use our pillows, our blankets, our towels. You can use books as well. So if you have bolsters and blocks, you can keep just the height of a bolster. If you need it a little bit higher, feel free to add propping underneath it. So blocks, if you don't have blocks, feel free always to use a book. Whatever you have at home, you might not all have really thick books, so you can play around with a couple of novels even if you need. So finding what works for you. Now we want to have a little bit of cushioning between our knees. So if you've run out of some propping, you might need to grab a little bit more. So anything from a blanket, a towel, even a scarf. Cushioning the knees and or the ankles if you have the ability to do so, just to make it comfortable. This is all about ease and comfort. So what we'll do, we both have our right hips towards our bolster. It doesn't matter which side you start on because we'll do both. So we're placing our hips towards the bolster. We're stacking our knees and our ankles so that they're nice and comfortable. If this isn't comfortable, just adjust it so that it is. And now we're going to add a little twist. So we'll take a deep breath in to lengthen the spine. As we exhale, we're going to rotate towards our propping. Now, eventually working towards squaring. If you can't square, that's okay. This is where you might need to add a little more propping. And we'll lift and scoop up the belly and we'll start to lower ourselves over our props. If this feels like it's too far down for you, that's where you want to lift it up. If it feels good, then start to lower yourself down and rest the side of the head. Now you might find there's a little discomfort in the neck. If you need to add a little extra blanket or towel or scarf underneath the head or neck, feel free to do so. That can actually do wonders. The hands, you just want them off to the side. You want the elbows not underneath the shoulders because they might end up shooting the shoulders up towards the ears, and that's not as comfortable as if you were to drop the shoulders away from the ears. So just allow the elbows to move either away, forward, or back, allowing yourself to find that comfort and that ease. Once again, we're going for that ah moment. So take a nice deep breath in, and then exhale. Just fall into the support of your props. If you're not finding it comfortable, make the appropriate adjustments. Take the time to build that posture. Make it work for you. Now I invite you to take a couple of breaths with your face facing the same way as your knees. This is perhaps where you stay. If you have the ability to take it further, you can try, and if it's not comfortable, you can go back. You're welcome to lift the head and then start to face away from the knees, adding to the twist, adding that cervical spine to the twist and bringing it down. If that causes immense discomfort and dis-ease, please turn the face back. It's just an add-on if you wish. Maybe it takes a little extra cushioning with a blanket in order to find that comfort. So find what works for you. Keep the breath moving in and out of the body. Allow the body to settle. Soften the gaze or close the eyes completely. As you take the breath in, feel it gently pressing into the belly, the support of your props, pressing into the belly,
With every exhale, we're twisting a little bit deeper, very passively, so just allowing the body to fall into that twist. This helps us ring through the organs. Forward folds are very nurturing, relaxing the shoulders. When we find that ultimate ease and comfort, we allow the body to move away from the stresses that we stimulate ourselves in everyday life. This could be any anxieties that you're feeling, which I'm sure many people are feeling some at this time. Allow your body to calm down so we can reach equilibrium once again. That's what we're trying to achieve here. We're always initiating and stimulating the sympathetic nervous system. That's your fight or flight response. Now at this time where you can give yourself self-care at home, why not try to stimulate your parasympathetic nervous system? This is our rest, digest, and repair response of the body, restoring the body. Remember, if the mind tends to wander, try to bring the focus back to your breath. Focus on that inhale and the exhale. If you've added the additional twist with your cervical spine, slowly begin to rotate the head back so it's facing the same side as your knees. Bring it back to the breath and settle back into your posture. As you begin to deepen the breaths, we'll start to bring the awareness back into the body. As you start to draw the arms closer into the body, we'll begin to use our next breath to press into the earth and start to slowly lift the body up and away from the support of your props. So just taking a moment here and then slowly beginning to back up the body. You can remove any props from between your knees. And now we're going to take it to the other side. So what we do on one side, we must do on the other. So just keeping the same support, we'll take our blanket that was between our knees and our ankles and we'll bring it with us to the other side. So for Amanda and I, we're going to switch to our left hip against the bolster. We're going to bring the cushioning back between our knees and our ankles. And then once again, we'll take a deep breath in to lengthen the spine. Get that little rotation. And then as you exhale, we'll scoop in the belly and start to lower ourselves slowly. Now one side might be different from the other. So if coming down on this side creates a new discomfort or dis-ease, allow yourself to adjust to that response. So perhaps you need to add a little more on this side, or maybe you need to take away a little more on this side. Remembering that the posture can evolve and feeling empowered to make those changes at any point during your practice. So
So remember, we begin with our head in the same direction as our knees. Take a couple of breaths here. Take that ah breath. Inhale deeply. Exhale. Find that ease and that comfort. Now, if you rotated your neck on the other side, you can try to do it on this side as well. So inhaling to lift, rotating gently, and then seeing if it's all right to twist that cervical spine to the other side. If this creates discomfort, please bring it back to face the other side. If you need to make additional adjustments, perhaps you need a little extra support with a smaller blanket or scarf. Remembering to relax the shoulders away from the ears. Move the elbows away from the body so you can relax the upper body down. With your breath, take a nice deep breath. Feel that rotation, that gentle rotation in the spine, and notice the difference from one side to the other. Do you feel a difference? Are there tensions on one side of the body that you're not feeling on the other side? Just becoming aware of these subtle imbalances in the body. Use every breath to feed the spine, and with every exhale, just allow the body to fall a little deeper into that twist. It's very gentle, it's very subtle. When we hold it for a longer duration of time, this helps us to go a little deeper, allowing us to gain great benefits from each of these classical postures. Any point, if you need to return your head back to the original side, please feel free to do so. Getting a gentle massage through your belly, through your abdominal organs. Active relaxation. You still have your head turned. Slowly begin to return it back to the original side. Rest the cheek down and take a few more breaths to relax here. Slowly and gently begin to once again bring that attention back into the body. As As we begin to deepen the breath now, we'll start to draw the arms closer into the body, and with your next inhale, we'll slowly press the body up, carefully away from your props. So now we'll just clear our space a little bit here. We're gonna add in an unsupported posture just to counteract our little twist here. We'll do a little side stretch. So freeing up some space for you to move. If you need to, once again, prop your sitting bones on anything, you can use a block, you can use a blanket, you can use a pillow, anything that works for you. If crossing your legs is too painful, you can also keep your legs straight at this time as well. So we're just going to do a simple side stretch. So getting nice and comfortable. We'll sit tall, we'll roll the shoulders back. We'll place our hands down to either side, and with our next breath, let's inhale, we'll raise the right arm up. Now find some length in the side body, and as you exhale, let's start to hinge over to the side. Try not to lift your right sitting bone. So as you continue to reach over, lengthen. If you have a bad shoulder and raising the arm is painful, you don't have to. You can keep that arm down and just work on that side hinge. Now your left arm can either crawl out to the side or you can drop the elbow towards the floor, whatever's easiest for you. So if you need to keep the arm down, you can reach for the opposing leg and just work on that side hinge. Breathe into the side body. I want you to inflate the waist, inflate the lower ribs, the upper ribs right into the armpit. We'll take one more deep breath in, really feel that expansion. We'll fully exhale. And then with your next breath, let's inhale and come all the way back to center. And we'll release. We'll take it to the other side. So with your next breath, we'll raise the left arm up, finding that length in the side body. As you exhale, we'll start to hinge. So remember, you can either crawl the hand out or the elbow can come towards the floor. If it hurts the arm, you can keep the arm down and just work on that side hinge. Now we want to open up through the waist, try to keep the sitting bone down. Every breath expands into a new area of that side body. Let's take one more deep breath in. We'll fully exhale, and then we'll inhale, and we'll come all the way back up, and we'll exhale. So we're going to come to our final supported posture. We're going to show a few variations for this one, along with modifications and then variations within the posture itself. So it's a wonderful posture that helps to relieve fatigue. It gives you all the benefits of an inversion without actively having to do an inversion. So we are going to go to a wall. Now, if you don't have a free wall space in the room that you're in right now, pause this video and go and find yourself a space or free up a space, whether it's moving a plant, moving a chair, or closing your door and using the back of your door. So when you're ready, you can play the video again. So I'm going to have Amanda here demonstrate with our lovely wall space here. Free up a little bit extra room. Coming to bring her legs up the wall. So right now she's as close as she can be to the wall. Then she's slowly going to come and lower herself down. And you might have to play around with this. We'll slowly start to rotate to bring the legs up. Now you might not get this the first time, that's okay. If you need to come down and try again, do it. Sometimes it takes a few attempts to get up, and if you didn't quite make it to the wall, you can also press your feet into the wall and lift your bum and shimmy yourself a bit closer. We have her on a towel, so she's sliding a little bit. Excellent. So this is our classic legs up the wall. Just bring your legs together. If your legs don't want to stay together, you're welcome to wrap them. If you don't have a strap, you can, this is off of one of my robes, you're welcome to even use a simple tie if you feel you need that extra support, just to keep the legs together without having to worry about forcing them together. We want this to be as passive as possible and nice and relaxing. So we have her
With her sitting bones as close as she can go. If yours aren't touching the wall, that's okay. Tight hamstrings will do that. If you need to add a little bit of extra support underneath your sitting bones, please do so. And this is another variation, is lifting the hips on top of a bolster, or you want to put one? So we've got a little, actually this one's great, a nice little cushion, placing it underneath the hips, adding a little bit more of an elevation. So this adds a little bit more of an inversion to our inversion. So the upper back and the neck are relaxed, no tension, just allow the shoulders to drop away. The head and neck should be supported. If your head isn't reaching the floor or it's struggling and this is hard on the neck, you can also add small supports to underneath the head, so a folded blanket, a scarf, or a towel. Now, as Amanda remains here for a few moments, I'm also going to show a variation. If this is daunting to you to have your legs up the wall, and if you feel you don't have the space for it, you can get an inversion by using a chair and putting your legs on the chair. So the same idea goes for bringing yourself, your sitting bones, as close as you can to that chair. And then as you come to lay down, slowly bringing one leg at a time up onto the seat of the chair. Any extra support that you need, adding it underneath the head. This works as well. If you have really tight hamstrings, that's a variation that could work for you for now. Of course, opening up the hamstrings is wonderful, and legs up the wall is a great way to do that. So there's going to be other options that if you want to get some shoulder opening in this posture as well. So this might be intense on the hamstrings and maybe you want to just focus there, you can. So we have Amanda doing some cactus arms. So just that 90 degrees at both elbows. That's a lovely shoulder opening variation. A few other ones that you can also incorporate. You can go as much as reaching the arms right overhead. That could be very intense. If so, just bring it back to those cactus arms. Another option is you can reach for opposing elbows over top the head. Now keep those forearms just resting towards the floor, and the forearms might rest on the crown of the head. Another option as well, and this is a little bit more of an opening through the chest, you can interlace your hands, lift your head, and then cradle the back of the head into your interlaced hands. You'll feel as the elbows start to drop, you're going to get that opening across the chest. So play around with any of these variations through the shoulder. If they're too much, or if you're done with shoulder opening, you can bring the arms back to the sides, or you can even rest your hands on your belly. So next, and this is optional, we have a few other leg variations that we'll do. So I've removed the strap from Amanda's legs. And if it interests you to get a little more of an inner thigh opening, you're welcome, and if you have the space, to open up the legs to a V shape. If you don't have enough room on your wall, perhaps this isn't one that you can try at home, or perhaps you're just restricted to perhaps the furniture in your room or the doorway or wherever it is that you are. So this is a lovely variation that you can hold. If you're feeling any pain on the inner knee, then just come out slightly or come out completely so that we don't create too much tension or pain on the knee. So just allowing the body to settle. You're welcome to hold this for a couple of minutes if you wish. You're welcome to come out at any point. If you wish to change the shoulder opening variation, feel free to do so at this time.
our passive inversions, we allow ourselves to gently drain the fluids, the blood, away from the legs. It begins to pool in the rest of our body, nourishing our abdominal organs and nourishing our brain. It's a good way to relieve restless legs. It's also a good alternative to a nap if you're feeling a little tired. You can remain here a little longer if you wish. But if you'd like to try another variation, we'll slowly begin to carefully bring the legs. If you need to support it with your hands, you can do that as well. Now, other great options is doing the butterfly legs in this wall supported position as well. So our Baddha Konasana, our butterfly legs. Bringing the soles of the feet together, letting the legs fall out to the side. There's less pressure from gravity here, so if you find this difficult to do as a seated posture, feel free to do it as a legs up the wall variation. You can also playfully, as an option in this posture, even use your hands and carefully press them into the knees or the thighs if you wanted to play around with the tension. But remember, restorative is about softness, ease, and comfort. Breathing into the belly, allowing the mind to soften. If you set an intention, you can revisit this intention at this time. If you wish to remain in this posture a little bit longer, feel free and empowered to do so. You can pause the video at any time. Otherwise, we'll slowly begin to make our way out by drawing the knees together. And then you can gently hug the knees in if you want, or you can start to prepare to tip off to the side. Now, you're welcome to tip off to the right-hand side, which is typically what we do. If you look up to the right and you have too many things in the way, feel free to tip off to the left. Take a moment in the fetal position before coming up. Allow the body to restore the blood to the lower half of your body. And then when you're ready, carefully begin to press the body up and away from the floor. Hopefully you feel a little refreshed after that posture. Amanda looks refreshed. So we'll now begin, we'll finish today's practice with a Shavasana. Now we're going to demonstrate some supported Shavasanas, just so that you have lots of options at home. If you wish to lie flat on the ground with no props, of course you're able to as well, but since you took the time to take out all these props, feel free to play with them as well. So what's Amanda going to play with? Do you want bolster under the knees?
Sure.
So Amanda's going to place a bolster underneath her knees. So this is really nice, especially if laying flat on the floor creates any tension in the low back. This can help to relieve that tension. Now you're also welcome to create an incline once again, so if you wanted to turn your chair over and have that wonderful heart opening effect as well, you can do that. You can also just lie with an incline with no support underneath the legs. So I'm going to create a little incline for myself using some books. Try that. Using some pillows. I'm going to roll a blanket for underneath my legs. And if you get cold, you can also, do you want that to be covered? Yeah. If you do have a heavy blanket, like a weighted blanket or one that's a little bit lighter than our scarf here, it's also nice to take a folded blanket and put it over the belly. It's very comforting, it's very nurturing. I'm just gonna tuck Amanda in so she's nice nice and cozy and cocooned. So play around with what works for you. Make sure you have the support you need. If your head's not supported, find something to support it. Let the arms fall out to the sides. You can get that nice opening across the chest once again. Taking a nice deep breath into the belly. If you want to tune the light out, you can take a folded scarf, a blanket. If you have an eye pillow, you can use that. Gently folding it over the eyes so that you can really turn the attention inwards here. You might hear people say that Shavasana is the most important posture in yoga. And the truth behind that is it's doing what we're trying to achieve in this entire class of restorative yoga. It allows you, after a practice, let's say you did a vigorous practice or even a gentle practice, you've done a lot to your body, you may have put it in a period of stress. So the Shavasana allows you to move away from any stress hormones in the body or any stress you placed on your body and bring it back to that rest, that digest, restore response of the body. So we relax the body, we relax the mind, and then we go deep into the nervous system and start to restore with that parasympathetic nervous system. When we restore, we seal in the benefits of our practice. So even in our restorative practice, if you weren't relaxing yet, now is the time. This practice is for you. This is your self-care. This is your self-love. There's no better time than right now to be practicing this. So just allow yourself to tune out. When I say that, I mean tune in. Allow those external thoughts to wander past. Try not to move the body. Allow yourself to be heavy. I want you to start this sensation in the toes, in the feet, softening the calves, the thighs, the hips. I want you to feel the left hip and the right hip. Feel as they sink and they melt back into the support of the earth or the props beneath you. Softening the belly, softening the low, the mid, and the upper back. Feel the left shoulder blade. Feel the right shoulder blade. Feel that upper space across the sternum, across the upper chest, just broadening and relaxing. The left arm, the right arm, they're heavy. The back of the hands are just floating above the support of the earth. The throat is soft. The jaw is soft. The back of the head is heavy and melting back into the earth beneath you. As the body melts away, feel your mind finding that stillness as well. When the external thoughts start to make their way in, I want you to just let it pass. Do not attach yourself to that thought. There is nothing for you to do, and there's nowhere else for you to be except for right here, right now. refuse to take the time to treat our bodies, emotions, and minds with reverence and love, they will often remind us, not so kindly, by failing to respond when we need them. Our ability to think clearly recedes. We may experience sadness and depression. After a time, our lack of ease may allow dis-ease to creep into our life. Then we are obliged to take care of ourselves. It is much more pleasant and fun to do it willingly before any dis-ease invites itself into your life. Love for yourself is love for all. It's a quote by Nicola Joy Devi. Slowly and gently, I invite you to just bring that awareness back into your body. Stay as you are. Just begin to feel the heart beating within your chest. Feel the breath once again moving in and out of your lungs. As you begin to deepen the breath now, I invite you to make small movements in your physical body by gently wiggling your fingers, your toes, your wrists, your ankles. Slowly begin to sweep the arms up and overhead. We'll start to draw the knees in towards our chest. We'll start to rock side to side. When the time is right, you can gently begin to tip yourself off to the right-hand side, or any side that works for you. Take a moment of reflection, observation, and if you set an intention for your practice, you can revisit it at this time. We'll slowly begin to lift ourselves up and away from the earth, finding our way into a comfortable seated position, where we'll conclude our practice with a final chant of Om and an offering of peace. So find a comfortable seated position. That can be on any props. It can be on a chair. It can be on the floor.
That's you too. I see.
Sit. Good boy. Good boy. So we'll begin with a clearing breath, and we'll begin. So we'll take a nice inhale. We'll exhale fully. And then together, a deep breath in. Shanti, Shanti.
happy, may we be healthy, may we be peaceful, may we be safe and free from harm. May we be kind to ourselves and others. Thank you for practicing. Namaste.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Say goodbye, Phil.